Hello, going to give you a quick overview of Insight SQC. I'm in the demo deployment right here, although it will look the same regardless of which deployment you have. This is the landing page when you first hit the site itself. You sign in right here. If we have set up for you SSO, there'll be a button down here to sign in with SSO, but if SSO has not been set up for you, you'll enter your name and password here. Okay, then we'll drop you to this page right here. This is the KPI page. There's also where we can look at the control status, in control, out of control, or test performance index of various methods that are in here. You can subset this by choosing a location here. So we'll just look at Houston and you see this slightly move, or Philadelphia, and you'll see it slightly move again. Same thing down with the test performance index. You can select a particular facility and look at TPIs for each facility. Moving on to the status page, this gives you some basic information about the status, whether you are in control or out of control, or whether you need assessment or you're active. And so you can look at the chart stage and the chart status, and clicking on any one of these will sort it to the top. Same thing here. You can sort those to the top in control, out of control charts. On the details page, there's more information. We have the TPI, the site precision, the average, when the most recent sample was taken. If there's any out of control flags, here they are. If there's any warnings, here they are. And just like the other page, you can sort them very easily like this. So if I want to look at my worst site precisions, I can sort them there. If I want to look at my best site precisions, if I want to look at my lowest TPI, if I want to look at my highest TPI, you can sort them all there. Okay. Next, we'll look at QC data and charts, and we'll look at our data set that we've been working on, D5191, gasoline QC1, and demo. Okay, here's some data for us. On this page right here, the overview, there is an opportunity to look first at the summary statistics right here. Down below is an eye chart. You can look at what data has been used for setup data by clicking this little tag right here, and it'll turn it blue. I'll just toggle that on and off once or twice. If you want to zoom in on a data set, you can slide the bar right here, back and forth. There it is, back and forth. Down below, and you can turn on and off the reference lines right here, and any out of control flags or warning flags. Down below is the moving range chart. Same thing here. You can look at the setup data. You can turn on and off flags and reference lines as well. Down below is the normality testing. Here's a histogram, and here is a QQ plot to tell you about the normality of the data. The data itself is right here. There's a little more information to see. You can just slide over if you like to see some of the other things that are here. If you want to get into and edit the data, you can do so here. If you want to edit any particular data point, you click the pencil, make your changes, save it, and then hit the save button down here. Okay. Moving on to the comparison. This is a tool that allows you to compare among different analysts. And so you can see there's 3 analysts right here. If I just want to look at JAT, I can look at him. If I want to look at CMC, we click there. And if we want to look at AL, we look here. Down below, if there were multiple instruments, they would appear here. There's only one instrument, but you can compare instruments down here as well. All right, moving on to configurations. Here, there's a lot to see and look at. You can choose to pre-treat the data here. You can choose your control strategy. Right now, we're using the EWMA trend line. You can also change it to the run rules, or if you want to use user-defined control limits or tolerance limits, you designate those here. You hit the save button here, and then you hit the save button down at the bottom right here. Moving along, If you want to enter user-defined tolerance limits, you do so here. You can also set tolerance limits based on 1090. You can set user-defined control limits here. If you know something about the data and you've got a mean you want to enter, a standard deviation, you know the number of samples that have been used to determine the mean and standard deviation, you can enter it here. If you want to user-define reproducibility and repeatability, you do that here. Down below are all the control strategies. Here's the control limit violation for a 3 sigma violation. If you want a warning, you can turn these all on and off. Here are the run rules. These guys here are the run rules. Here's the EWMA trend, user-defined control limit exceedances, all sorts of different ways to flag data. Each one of these can be turned on or off, off, out of control, or warning. And if you've selected those here, you would then go ahead and hit save down below. Okay, moving on. If you are doing initial assessments and ongoing assessments, you can set the number of data points for that right here, 20 data points for initial assessment, 20 data points for ongoing assessment. Those can be changed if you want to increase them. Some people like to collect more than 20 data points just in case there's an outlier. You can set that to 25. Some people like to do ongoing assessments every 50 data points. You can change that here. You can auto-create a sample recheck. So if you get an out-of-control data point, it'll auto-create a recheck sample for you. And then down below here, if you're doing 1090 checks, you can do so right here. That's part of another video. You can change from gasoline to ULSD, ECA marine, butane, gasoline, so forth and so on. Down below here, if you want to archive a data set, you can change this from archive no to archive yes, and it'll put the data set in archive. That's the subject of another video that we will look at later as well. Okay, moving on. If you have done a chart assessment, and we have done one in a video here, you can find this library of chart assessments right here. You can click on any assessment to see it right here. Reports, this is where you would find 1090 reports. There was a report generated a while back for 1090 right here. You can view that report here. There's the 1090 compliance report for Precision. This is the subject of another video, so I'm not going to get into it at this time. And last but not least, this is the data entry page. This is where scheduled samples show up. You can also add samples and enter them here as well. You just add a row, you edit the row, and then you go ahead and choose your location, your method, your parameter, your instrument, and you can add data right here. Once you've got the data the way you like it, hit the save button here and then save the data all together. You can also add from file. This is the subject of another video as well. Okay, moving on. In the master data, we have several tabs here. Here's the organization. You can add a parent company, a division, a business unit, a region, an area, a laboratory. The region, the area, and the laboratory are taken as the location in total. So you'll see that come up again and again in our data sets. And of course, there's different departments that you can assign. You can assign different people right here. You can add a person using the button. It pops up a modal like this. You can add data in bulk from a file. The key here is just to keep the same headers that you see. If you want to allocate permission for different people, you do so down here. You can create a group. We've got a group created right here. And you can edit that group. You can add locations. I might want to add Philadelphia to the location here. I might want to add people to that group right here. I can add Angel Fontenot, add her there, and then you hit save and it gives people permission to see that data. Here are the methods that ASTM continuously updates, but you can get your methods that you're running in here. If you're running non-ASTM methods, you can add those from a file, or you can add them individually right here, same sort of thing. If you decide to add from a file, again, you'll just want to keep the same headers that you see on this table. Here are samples that people are running in this laboratory: lube oil, diesel fuel, an SRM, a gasoline QC sample. Again, you can add it one by one if you want to using the modal, or you can add from file by maintaining the headers that you see here. Last but not least are the instruments. I guess we don't have any instruments added here, but you can add instruments from this file. Here, you can add an instrument. or you can add from a file here as well. Same thing, just maintain the headers. Last in our drive-through right here, we'll look at the notification manager. Locations are done by facility. So we're looking at the Houston notifications right here. If the sample expiration is approaching, the sample has expired, if there's a warning violation, if there's an out of control violation, you can choose the frequency about when you get notified. Maybe you want to be notified immediately or just daily. A scheduled result was not entered. A recheck is out of control. Initial chart assessment is coming up. Initial chart assessment is past due. Periodic assessment is ready for periodic assessment, and then periodic assessment is past due. And so you just save your configurations for notifications, and then you'll be notified by email if any of these things is out of whack. All right, thanks for watching.